Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The last several days, we've had the opportunity to listen to many people in the chamber, and we've heard about how the corporate tax structure in Pennsylvania does not work in relation to House Bill 1950. We've heard regarding the fee included in House Bill 1950 is so low and is considered by many, including the gentleman from Delaware County, as a joke. We heard that this week. We heard it this morning in appropriations. We've also heard from the gentleman from Allegheny County this morning and his thoughts, which I completely disagree. When you actually look at other state comparisons as far as corporate tax structures, Pennsylvania's 9.99% is the joke. It is one of the highest corporate tax rates in this country. When you have multi-state tax professionals looking at this rate, it is the one issue that jumps off the page in all of our board of directors' rooms. So yes, maybe the fee included in 1950 is not as high as some other states, but to be genuine in looking at the entire tax structure of 1950, you need to include the overall tax structure of the entire Commonwealth. To look at the fee by itself is disingenuous. For example, the next issue we hear is that corporations don't pay tax in Pennsylvania. I have a press release right here from the Department of Revenue dated May 2nd, 2011, that says the drilling industry has paid more than $1 billion in state taxes since 2006. They have paid more than $1 billion. And the Secretary of Revenue is actively going around to groups across this Commonwealth explaining the administration's plan for advancing Pennsylvania. And included in this analysis is a detailed calculation of $1.4 billion in state taxes attributable to oil and gas drilling. We heard before from the gentleman from Lancaster that by identifying the specific codes on returns and required documentation, we can calculate a pretty narrow picture of what is being paid by the industry. And this is the narrow approach where the codes specifically address the industry. We're not talking about the secondary industries that are popping up all over the northern tier attributable to drilling. This is just a narrow focus, $1.4 billion. In fact, corporate tax by itself since 2006 has gone up $150 million per year compared to 2011, $150 million more than 2006, directly attributable to drilling. Maybe you can look at this information and say, well, you know, it's the administration's plan and it's the administration's numbers, and I believe it's extremely factual in nature based upon the information that they collect. But doing my homework, ladies and gentlemen, I was able to research a Fortune 500 company. A Fortune 500 company actively drilling in our Commonwealth. And they specifically buried in a footnote, state this in regards to income tax benefit or expense. The year ended December 31st, 2009, includes an unfavorable charge to reflect updated state rates used to establish deferred taxes due to a change in our state apportionment factors to states with higher rates, particularly Pennsylvania. With our increased focus on development of the Marcellus Shale, along with the increased proved reserves and acreage in Pennsylvania. Ladies and gentlemen, they would not disclose this in a public document. Their corporate attorneys, their corporate accountants would not disclose this negative impact of their deferred taxes if they were not paying it. If they did not have to pay this taxation, which we've heard over and over again all this week, if they did not have to pay this tax, they certainly wouldn't disclose it to their shareholders and the entire general public. It's disclosed in their footnotes. Mr. Speaker, I stand to support House Bill 1950. Is it a perfect bill? No. Did the persons and individuals that were part of drafting this legislation do their due diligence and do their work? Yes, they did, because they considered the entire corporate tax structure of this Commonwealth, and I believe it's absolutely fair to the people and the corporations of this Commonwealth. Thank you.